Hello again. I'm back here again to vent and talk about, you know, the usual American domestic politics and all the chaos going on in the world and the country. And yeah, the shenanigans, the clown show we're witnessing, which is literally a facade and distraction of BS. And um, the other thing I wanted to bring up is the response, which I'm sure everybody's been talking about forever. I stayed quiet for a minute, but I'm going to put my input in about this, of Donald Trump's statement about Rob Reiner, which is abhorrent and disgusting because everything's got to be about him. It's always got to be centered around him. All right. And I was surprised to see how many people were outraged by his statement, including people that voted for him. Because I guess the guy was liked by a lot of people, apparently, even though they didn't agree with his politics, which is encouraging. Um, I wish we had more of that moral clarity more often when he says that about other people. But yeah, what he said, it, what happened to Rob Reiner was personal. His son did, his son committed the crime, and he was having mental issues and a lot of stuff and personal turmoil was going on in their lives. Okay. I don't know why he had to inquiry politics into this. Like, oh, this person was so deranged and Trump deranged and all this. Like, everything's got to be about this guy all the time. I'm like, dude, like, could you just come out and say condolences? It's tragic what happened and just move on, or not say anything at all. My thing is, this guy's got to constantly try to get headlines all the time and make some dumb, outrageous statements all the time. Childish BS stuff. All right. Again, this is the leader of the free world. He's not operating with a full head tank right now. We can see that. But I mean, I don't spend much time talking about this because I've witnessed the current occupant making a lot of statements that are outrageous and dumb. I'm kind of grown desensitized to it like a lot of people, which is unfortunate. We're growing desensitized to it. I can't even keep up with the news half the time. I'm just at the point where I'm just like, whatever. There's always something. But, um, this does have to be called out to a point, though, because he invoked himself into a tragedy, politicized it to make everything about him. And the bottom line is, it was to distract people about the Epstein file drip information. That's all that was. Distract people, because he knows people are tuning in, watching what's going on, wants to see the release of the files. Obviously, his name's going to be invoked in them. So that's why they redacted so many of them. Because majority of the files that are redacted had his name in them. There's no question about that. Okay? Them putting photocopies of Bill Clinton, Diane Ross, and Michael Jackson, like that was a thing. Like, what a perfect deflection. But by the way, nice try. That was an old photo from 2003. And it didn't have anything to do with Epstein. So, great distraction, but let's be honest here. That was just silly. All right, that was another deflection. Smoke and mirrors. But there were files that were released that showed a whole drawer full of photos of Trump and Epstein. Okay. Yeah. Then they turned around and took the photos out. There were a few things that were incriminating that were put in there by mistake that were not redacted. And many of them had a lot of Trump and Epstein. Just gonna be honest. I'm just wondering, more people are gonna wake up and realize this thing that he's been politicizing and talking about all these years, he's in it. I'm just saying, he's in it. It's obvious. Like, I don't know how much more denial people can live in. So it's kind of like he's more involved than even Bill Clinton, which I know a lot of people find hard to believe. I know, newsflash. Bill Clinton even called his bluff and told him to release all the files and stop redacting the information. So, I mean, obviously, Bill Clinton didn't have as much to hide. I know people find that surprising. No, it was all smoke and mirrors. So, it's ironic the person that exploits people the most is the most of the elite and is the most corrupt of all of them. The irony, right? Funny how things work. But now to him, it's all political hoax. It's a distraction. It's not real. Even though he talked about it forever, and now all of a sudden he don't want the files coming out, and he's making excuses. But now legally they got to release him because he approved it. He signed it into law, and they, because they knew the optics would look bad, he voted against it. So what was he gonna do? He didn't have a choice, so he signed it. Yeah, okay, fine, I approve it. Release the files. And as a result, they attempted to redact them, try to cover up a lot of information. Some of the stuff still got out, and they decided to retract what they said, put out, and got rid of the photos, even though they'd already been released. Because internet's fast, you guys. The news is quick. People jump on things very fast. So once something gets out, it's going to get out, regardless of whether you could around and cover it up again or not. So, it's a new day. But, yeah, it's just the attempt to cover up more info is just a slap in the face of the victims. It's not about protecting the victims. They know that. They think they're fooling people. They're not. People know better. But it's aside from politics. It's not just about politics. It's just about government accountability. There was obviously a crime committed, and there was a trafficking ring going on, and people were hurt by it. And it's wrong to keep this information from the public. And yes, I agree, it should have been released a long time ago, and I think people should have been held accountable, and it's not just partisan. But, it's just funny the guy that talked about it for so many years was the most involved, and yet doesn't want to release him now that he's in charge. But now legally they have to, and by the Attorney General trying to cover the information up, she's actually breaking the law. So these people are actively still trying to break the law when it comes to transparency. So, yeah, and I fully support the attempted impeachment movement from Ro Khanna and Massey. I think that's an excellent bipartisan movement they're starting right now. Which I'm going to come back and talk about that later, about possibly Ro Khanna's presidential ambitions. And he is making some very smart political moves, so I can see he plans on running for president. It's kind of obvious. But it's very strategic. I will give him that. So I agree with their move to invoke the impeachment of Pam Bondi. I 100% agree with it. Because she's not doing her job as Attorney General. She's just being a foot soldier for the president. But I do want them to not fail to realize that the guy at the top of the leader chain is the one calling the shots. He's telling Pam Bondi to do what she's doing right now. She's just taking orders. She's not making these decisions on her own. So, that's a news flash for everybody. So, anyways, that's all I want to talk about in this video. I'll talk to you guys later. See you later. It's a great day, great morning, beautiful. Goodbye.